Get in, nerds. We're playing Victoria 3. We are still working on getting our infamy low enough to be able to declare a war on Kanak in order to get them to be our puppet, and with an eye toward annexing all of this territory here. So, what do we got going on? The Infernal Machine. Oh, someone attempted to kill the king. An attempt on the life of the Emperor has killed many but spared our ruler. A complex device that self-damaged the attack is the only trace of the revolutionary left at the site of the attack. It's hard to say what happened. I heard a slow explosion like a ragged platoon fire, and then there was smoke and chaos all around. The people to my right and left were cut down where they stood, but I was untouched. I looked off toward towards the Emperor, but there was just suddenly a bloody void surrounding him. Limit his public appearances. Don't want that. This crime is obviously the fault of Jean Bedeau. He might go on the run, reducing his popularity. He might be cleared of charges, increasing his popularity and progressing the Civil War. Or it'll reduce the progress of the Civil War. I'm going to go with this one. I'm going to gamble it. Yes! Civil War progress went down. That's excellent. A clause is coming to town. The petite bourgeoisie and the intelligentsia are jockeying for minor but favorable concessions regarding outlawed dissent. Hyacinthe Prince, among others, is calling for a resolution without concessions. A pair of bickering children, the bane of a swift and firm decision-making since time immemorial. Regardless of age or pretense of education, the beats rhyme every time. Two groups want something and will make it someone else's problem until they get it. The problem then is which baby to hand the bottle to. Let them bicker. This gives us 5% enactment chance, but increases Hyacinthe Fritz's interest group attraction and interest group approval. That's not bad. Or throw one a bone if it will silence them. Still gets us 5% enactment chance and gets us approval from either the intelligentsia or the petite bourgeoisie. I'm gonna go with... Let me see. Making the rural folk stronger isn't bad at all, because rural folk are very weak right now. On the other hand, getting approval from someone might get me the approval of the intelligentsia, which I would like. So I'll do the second one. It worked. I increased it by 1, which is weird, but it is what it is. So I'm just checking to see if there's a decision setting out about the Dreyfus affair, which it looks like there is not. Alright. Let's get going here. Doing well with infamy. Building up power plants. How many urban centers do we have on electrical lighting? Here I am checking a different thing. Oh, all of them. Alright, brilliant. Government admin, it'll cost me 888 more telephones and 10k more people to go to telephone switchboards for every government administration, but I'm going to go ahead and do it. Because I want to stabilize that market now. Oh, munitions plants can go to assembly lines. That's right, I unlocked assembly lines. So, how much oil have we got? Where's oil? Oil is very affordable right now, so I can move some industries over to assembly lines. Manufacturing, and that'll save a bunch of coal, which will be good. So first we'll do furniture. Furniture doesn't like it. Probably because of the electricity cost. Really? You want to go back to water tube boiler? Okay, well, it is what it is. Tooling workshops, what about you? You say you'll like it. You definitely like it. Paper mills don't have the option. Motor industries will definitely not like it. And then munitions plants will not like it. Arms industries will not like it. But that's partially because oil is very expensive. Oh, because I did the tooling workshops. Yeah, whoopsie doodle. I can't afford to do tooling workshops, all of this stuff. So let's go to... Is there anywhere I have oil available that I'm not developing? That's actually the question. No. So that's something I need to work on. So we'll go ahead and grab our tooling workshops and pop them back to water tube boiler. Brazil, you want an alliance. Rural folk versus intelligentsia. I'm going to sit this one out. You're going to have a civil war. Enjoy that. Perhaps your industrialists will be more amenable to French interests. I suspect that might be the case. A lot of people would sure like a presidential republic. There's automatic bottle blowers. I'm just going to go ahead and click the button for that because that's something that we desperately need. Oh, that's going to cost oil as well. I thought that only took tools. My bad. Alright, well, let's work on pasteurization then. Maybe let us move to this Pébrine thing to be actually finished. Still a shortage in opium. Constantine garrison refuses order. Ordered to violently suppress a popular riot in Constantine, a battalion of the Constantine garrison have refused their orders, claiming the execution of such a command would run contrary to the laws of men and God alike. Patriotism, I will gladly raise my rifle against the enemies of the French Empire. Should the British come knocking, I will do my duty, as should we all. But to raise arms against kin, against brothers in blood and faith, sir, this we cannot do. Insubordination, string up the ringleaders and jail the rest. This reduces the progress of the Civil War. 3% devastation, 5% of servicemen become radical, 2% of officers become loyalists, or hush this down. We shall rotate the garrison. Eventually, this gives us minus 20% throughput. I'm going to do the first one. Let's reduce the Civil War progress there a little bit. We have a lot of diplomatic plays going on. Britain's fighting Bhutan. Okay, Great Britain finished their revolt. The government won, interestingly, which is a surprise. But it is what it is. Are they in a massive debt? Oh, they sure are. 114 million. That's fun. Prussia has been damaging relations, right? Yes. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and stop improving relations with them then, because I don't necessarily need their good relations. 9.6 infamy. We're continuing to work on improving relations with Austria and Russia. So we'll go ahead and continue. War propaganda. Excellent. I didn't need that, but it is useful to have. Water tube boiler has to be more effective for paper mills, doesn't it? No, it isn't. Oh man, that's bananas. You sure? Yep. Alright. Mutual exclusivity. Though the outlawed dissent law sees agreement in principle, there are two mutually exclusive clauses. The petit bourgeois and industrialists want the law to favor them, while John Badeau favors striking both. The essence of leadership, so they say, is compromise. An interesting paradox, then, is compromise as weakness. Not compromising is as much failing as always compromising. This, in all things, lies in balancing the ends. Strike a clause the law needs passing. Either the industrialists get between the petite bourgeoisie and the industrialists, one of them will get mad and weaker, the other will get happy and stronger. Or, time for a fresh barrel ink, this makes John Badeau a little more popular. I'm not going to do the second one, so we'll do this. So currently, industrialists are at 12, petite bourgeoisie are at 13. Strike a clause. Let's see what happened. Okay, so it favored the petite bourgeoisie. Macron backs down. Where are you? Interesting. Austria has been expanding into India. That's neat. A little sad that I haven't gotten any success on this, but I suppose we've been only getting debates here, since no one in the government actually opposes outlawed dissent, so I shouldn't be complaining that much. Prussia continues to go stronger, but I think the boat has kind of sailed on them being a major power. They're at, well, they're a great power. They're at number 6. What about Canada? Canada's a minor power at 16, but they should be getting stronger. They've actually got a king. Alexander MacDonald. Oh my gosh. Are you... No, that's a different MacDonald. I was thinking that was the historical Prime Minister John MacDonald becoming a king, but no, that was any historical character. Anyway, one of the Emperor's trusted ministers, Charles Humbert, who's the leader of the petite bourgeoisie, interesting, has been abducted by rebels and spirited away to a hidden location. The rebels have declared that Humbert will be executed if the government does not offer them a ransom. Understand this, Charles's life is in your hands alone. If he is to die, his blood will lie in your hands alone, along with the blood of so many others, the people of the French Empire. You have 48 hours from the time that this letter is delivered to provide to us the needed concessions. Fail to do so, and we cannot guarantee the minister's safety. We must pay the ransom. This makes the petite bourgeoisie happy, makes the intelligentsia way stronger, and progresses the civil war by 10%. Not going to do that. If they wish to murder Charles Humbert, then so be it. He dies and the petite bourgeoisie gets -5 approval, or dispatch the army to rescue him. 25% chance of he gets scarred and hero in dark places, increasing his interest group approval by 2, and his popularity by 50, and change progress of civil war by -10%. 25% chance if he's wounded and change civil war progress by -5%, or 50% chance he dies. I'm gonna mount a rescue. Kablam! And he's dead. So, who's heading up the bourgeoisie now? We have a pacifist. Germain Achard. Interesting. Can I sway you to Bonapartism? No. So, I'm actually going to grab Jean Bedeau and kick him out of the country. Oh! I'm not going to do that right now immediately because of this whole situation. The retrial. This is the completion of the Dreyfus affair. Conducted in an atmosphere of extreme tension, a Paris court has reaffirmed the guilt of Alfred Dreyfus, but, quote, with extenuating circumstances, unquote, offering Dreyfus a pardon in return for admission of guilt, a pardon that visibly malnourished Dreyfus accepted after some delay. Extra, extra, Dreyfus resentenced and pardoned. Read all about it in the Paris Informer. Prominent anti-Dreyfusards and Dreyfusards alike all decrying the verdict, calling for true justice. Extra, extra. It seems the Dreyfusard specter will haunt us for some time more. -1 approval from a bunch of different interest groups. Trade unions, rural folk, industrialists, intelligentsia, petite bourgeoisie. Unsettled affair, -10% authority for 9 years. 2% of pops in France become more radical. Or an unsatisfying end to an unsatisfying affair. This gives us the same opinions for the interest groups, but 5% extra radicals from discrimination. I'm going to go with the second one, because I don't want reduced authority. All right. Well, that is wild. New Grenada wants a trade agreement. Heck yes. I will trade with you, New Grenada. That is just fine. You want to be in my customs union? No. US... I didn't even know USA was in a diplomatic play against Great Britain. Interesting. What happened there? Japan backs down in the Japanese proletarian revolt. Oh, interesting. Great Britain took Austria's, treaty port. USA, what just happened between you and Great Britain? Not sure. Maybe they were trying to open the American market? I don't know. You don't have a pile of infamy, so it wasn't. Maybe they were banning slavery. The interpretation of dreams. A respectable doctor from the University of Holland has been conducting newfangled investigations in the camp of psychiatry, emphasizing the role that the unconscious mind and buried childhood memories play in psychological pathologies. In the following pages, I shall demonstrate that there exists a psychological technique by which dreams may be interpreted, and that upon the application of this method, every dream will show itself to be a senseful psychological structure, which may be introduced into an assignable place in the psychic activity of the waking state. This accomplished by investigation will terminate as it will reach the point where the problem of the dream meets broader problems, the solution of which must be attempted through other material. He may continue his investigations at the university. This creates Sigmund Freud. Ooh, he's someone I do want, because I think he's a nihilist. French Empire gets supported psychoanalysis, 10% university throughput. Sigmund Freud will become the intelligentsia leader with a high popularity. He appears. The Catholic Church get a little salty. The intelligentsia get a little happy. A mind this brilliant deserves a prominent role. He appears, but the Catholic Church get more angry, and I don't get the university throughput. This seems like a straight-up downgrade over the other one. Or this sounds highly unconvincing. The intelligentsia get mad. The Catholic Church get happy. I'm going to do the first one. He's an agitator. You want to join the Council Republic movement? Why would you do that? That's not... You're a nihilist. You're supposed to be against religion. Anyway, when you have a hammer... General Gregory de Gastineau, noting severe unrest in Leinster, has proposed that the army suppress agitation in the area. While his political allies support him, there's a heavy risk to following this plan. It's simple. We have an army and there is an enemy. Let me deploy my men and do what is needed, and the enemy shall be vanquished. That is all there is to it. Reprimand the general and reject the plan. This gets him demoted to brigadier general. You're the Senegal guy. Don't want to do that. We must use the tools we have to solve the problems we have, or brute force, which is 33% chance of reducing the Civil War progress, 66% chance of increasing it, or brute force may be the best option here. It's 50-50, but the increase is worse. You have that option because he's a pillager. So before, when we would hit this event, we had a professional army and we would get 50-50 with even chances. But now we're in a worse place. So I'm going to go ahead and do the safer option with the potentially... No, I'm going to do the 5 and 5 one. Predictably, it went up. With that having been said, though, now we're nearing the point of maximum for this thing. For a maximum radicalization for this. This movement for Council Republic is getting stronger and larger, and I'm not happy about it. So, I'm going to grab Jean Badeau, and he's out. And that has made my intelligentsia a little bit more radical, but it simply is what it is. I can't tolerate him continuing to sow dissent in my nation. Keep working on that. Where are we with infamy? We're close, in the words of Egghead. We're also almost to enacting outlawed dissent, which would be radical. Not sure what to do about this this law. I might go to protected speech, maybe? Not sure. Not sure how to deal with this whole situation. Emile Zola. And I can't make him the leader of the intelligentsia because the intelligentsia are not in the government. These places can tolerate sugar plantations, right? They can. Oh, but I don't actually control that much of the arable land over here. Interesting. And because I'm in laissez-faire, I can't actually reduce the number of plantations devoted to the amount of arable land devoted to things like dye farms. But that's okay, because once I've got full control of New Guinea, everything will be fine. Austria is suffering a Punjabi military revolt in northern India. Great Britain is fighting the Orangese down here. Parma, which is one of the microstates in Italy, is having a communist revolution. And Anhalt, which is one of the microstates in Germany, is suffering a religious revolt. And that has Russia on one side. Interesting. I don't know how Russia intends to intervene here, but they are going to try. Let me see. Still have a truce with Great Britain. Don't have a truce with the Netherlands anymore. But, oh my goodness. East India Company aristocratic revolt. Oh, the temptation. The temptation is so large. Sure would be rad if I could involve myself. Measure team abandoned Gaza. Very good. Dang. Really hoping I would complete this. Oh no, this is... Oh, I got both. Oop. I got events I'm not paying attention to. Our friends across the border. As the flames of revolution encroach on Leinster, a violent strike has engulfed the Dublin food industries. Fearing escalation and a further loss of profits, a cabal of British shareholders have petitioned the government for immediate aid, offering the assistance of off-duty British gendarmes stationed across the border. I've got 200 men on standby. This is getting out of hand, except their aid. This gives us plus 10 movement radicalism, so I can't do that. It also changes the Civil War progress by minus 10%, and gets us minus 10 prestige. Our own law enforcement is capable of handling this, because it's minus 5% Civil War progress, but increases radicalism by 15%, by 15. Or let us avoid bloodshed, adopt a conciliatory approach. This puts political movement radicalism to minus 5, so I'll do that, potentially. Or no, it's not potential, it's... Well, so it does increase the revolution, but now the revolution is going to progress down. A third opinion. As the debates around outlaw dissent law stalls, Hyacinth Fritz motions for a commission of experts to break the deadlock. One caucus's opinion is a token, two is a minority. Two caucuses represents the aggregated opinion of most people is still a minority, especially when those caucuses come with a lack of life or professional experience. Can the Treasury bear such an expense? Huge cost, but 10% enactment chance. Ugh, for 5 years. Put an open call out for any experts. Industrialists get weakened, but 10% enactment chance. See if our universities will provide 10% enactment chance. I'm going to go with the last one, because it gets me enactment chance without costing me anything. So this revolution is going to progress down. A new endarkenment. The headline of Emile Zola's newspaper announces that every writer, artist, performer, and educator in Rhône has quit. The French population has one outlet left for their woes: revolt. Enlightenment was the name given to the time of great thinkers and artists. Its promise was the advancement of all peoples from the shackles of ignorance and superstition. Now there is endarkenment, the time of violent ignorance and fearful mysticism. Don't need to worry about that. Its promise is the doom of culture, the death of hope, and perhaps, to its survivors at the end, the chance of a fresh start. The government will run its own presses. This progresses the Civil War by 5%. 2% of pops become radical. Definitely don't want that. Little Dark Age, 20% pay for mills throughput. Perhaps it's time to give more money to the arts. Progress Civil War by minus 5%. Intelligence gets stronger, or the university must be restaffed. Increase Civil War progress by 10%. 2% of academics become more loyalist. University in Rhône is destroyed. Creates a size 1 university in Rhône. So what how big is the university in Rouen right now? It's level 1 anyway. So, I'm going to go with this last one. 2% of academics become more loyalists. This will progress the Civil War upwards, but it will lose progress at its next tick. So, I can live with that. Let's continue forward. We're at 5.9 infamy now. And this is 19. So, it is time to pull the trigger. So, we've got 5 fronts. I'm going to grab some generals. Paul de Serre, mobilized what I kind of consider the main front. I'll grab a bunch of these small generals and put them on these many and various small fronts. How many troops does Kanak actually have? 8 battalions. Alright, so I'm not going to be mobilizing a huge force here. I don't think I'm going to be conscripting at all during this war. I'm just going to be putting enough armies in New Guinea to cover my fronts. And make sure that I don't wind up in a situation where I can't do what I want to do because my fronts are all wonky. Alright, that should be enough troops. Assuming nobody intervenes, which I don't think they will, Great Britain's fighting a massive war over here. That they're not going to want to be involved with. Austria's got a war going on. Russia might involve themselves, but I'm not really worried about Russia. I think international exchange standards. Wonderful. I think Russia I've got completely outpaced on military tech. Yeah, they're still at skirmish and mobile artillery, so I'm completely unworried about Russia. So this is going to progress downward. Still very high, but getting lower. Oh, interesting. I'm still getting 791k loyalists a month. I'm going to go ahead and drop taxes. That's going to get me more loyalists a month. Let's wait till the month changeover and see if that affects it. I'm still almost completely ignorant on how that whole situation affects things. So we'll see. Gone in a flash. Oh my goodness. Whilst Emperor Ferdinand Phillipe Bonaparte was riding in a carriage between Paris and one of his country estates, a revolutionary threw himself under the carriage with a live grenade, slaying both the emperor and himself. Then, as if in a dream, a fog, it seemed to me that some young man of small stature was in a hurry to get off the sidewalk onto the pavement towards the sovereign's carriage, and hurled himself towards it, after which there was a deafening explosion. As soon as the crash rang out, the sovereign, the officers surrounding him, and the observers on the pavement nearby, they all at once fell, and a cloud of white smoke obscured them all. Scatter the murderer's ashes in a river and mourn our beloved emperor. This gives us 10% civil war progress. Legacy of regicide, minus 50 authority, minus 5 legitimacy, 5% penalty. Say penalty from turmoil. Or Antoine Bonaparte will have vengeance upon his father's murderers. National Guard and Secret Police pop support. Change ideology to traditionalist or authoritarian. He's currently Bonapartist. Let's go with the second one. Antoine is our new emperor. So Antoine Bonaparte is wrathful. He's a traditionalist, unfortunately, which doesn't do anything useful for us. He's 15, but he's not technically a child. So we have a little bit of a shortage of authority, but we're basically okay. Which is interesting. Come on. Let's get a cent. Oh, dang. Artistic expressions. A popular Oxton newsletter has released a statement by Hyacinth Fritz, endorsing several poets known for their sympathies to the industrialists' interests. The ideals of love and comradeship are present therein, but when one looks beyond the surface, one is faced with the precise conditions for such a thing, those things which foster the highest ideals and can be made manifest in one's daily life. The idols of Occitan culture stand behind our reforms, 7% enactment chance, or 5% enactment chance, and industrialists get stronger and happier. The loyal support of the industrialists should be rewarded. I'm going to go with the second one. This is still going to progress down at the next tick, but I'm really hoping we can get this passed because super don't want things to go sideways. With that having been said, the king is dead, long live the king. We'll see what happens with that next time. It is 1916, a very important year in French history in the original timeline. But we'll have to see how things go. I've had fun today. I hope you have fun. And I'll see you all on the other side.